What's going on, guys? Sekapoko here, bringing you another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. For this, we're doing the brand new Raid Big Mom, and oh my god, this one's a doozy. We were doing this live on stream, and honestly, it is the toughest raid that has come out in a very, very long time. It trumps almost any other raid that I've ever seen in the entire game by far. It is definitely the most difficult raid in the game. Coliseum-wise, it could be on par with the difficulty rating of Coliseum Pedro when it first dropped. It could be on par with some of the more difficult Coliseums that have been dropping out, like Coliseum Smoothie. It is a very, very difficult set of content. So guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Alright guys, let's go ahead and go over Big Mom as a unit. So Big Mom is going to be a 3 times captain below 50% HP and a 2.5 times captain otherwise. She's going to reduce the HP of all crew members by 20%. She has 2 limit break abilities. The first limit break ability is going to, limit break sailor ability. The first limit break sailor ability is because she's going to reduce the crew members' HP by 30% and boost recovery of all characters by 1.2 times, giving the first character in the entire game a sailor ability with both a positive effect and a negative effect. There's only been one character in the entire game so far that has a negative effect, and that is going to be the Invasion Cavendish, which actually nerfs your entire team if you have the wrong color captain. The second limit break ability is that she is going to boost the amount healed from recovery orbs by 300 each. This is actually a pretty funny mechanic because Big Mom as a raid actually brings in a whole new anti-healing mechanic to the game and is a healing-based captain or character, so that's kind of weird. Her special ability is to reduce the crew's HP by 50%, deals 100 times attack and the HP subtracted in typeless damage to one enemy, and randomize all orbs, all non-recovery orbs. So it makes it so that you only keep your recovery orbs and you randomize every other orb. Essentially, this is a great unit for Legend Enel teams, but not so much for Katakuri, unfortunately, because self-inflicted damage does not trigger Katakuri and Katakuri buffs. However, the recovery boost that you're going to get from Katakuri would be kind of nice, but the loss in HP is also kind of a negative, so using this character on a Katakuri team, not super the best. Dealing 100 times the amount of HP subtracted in one damage can go somewhere between 2 to 8 million. I think the top end is with the highest HP teams that you can create in the game. They're very difficult to do, but the average amount of damage you should be doing with this on a normal type team would be about 2 to 3 million damage on a single target, and on other teams you may see somewhere between 5 and 6 million, depending on how you build your teams and how much HP you structure those teams to have. She has 2 limit break abilities. The first, of course, is going to be special cooldown reduction, and the second, of course, is going to be double special, allowing you to use the special twice in one turn, which is really nice, and use it right away as the fight starts, making her a very interesting character to have in your kit. She's also going to max out at 6 turns, making her an extremely fast and reusable unit multiple times in an event, so making it really nice to have. She is supporting 3 different characters in the entire game. The characters she supports are Perospero, Daifuku, and Baba Royce. She's going to provide 7% of her total stats up to Baba Royce, Daifuku, as well as Perospero. So if you are going to be using this as a support for any of those 3 characters, it is a great support for those 3, but beyond that, this is a very difficult unit to obtain, so if you are not able to farm her, do not feel bad. She's a really hard unit to farm, but is also a good unit in the game. So guys, I'll see you in the team. Yo, what's going on, guys? Sekapoko here, bringing you another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. For this, we'll be going over the brand new Raid Big Mom, and this shit is fucking cancer. Oh my god, this is definitely the hardest content in the entire game. Wow, they did a fantastic job of making this so annoyingly bad that I hate it. But it is actually a very fun raid if you like to bang your head against the wall and hate life. Then in the raid, there's going to be a brand new debuff. The debuff that we're going to have in the raid is going to be a 99 turn healing reduction. There's only one character that we know of so far in the entire game that completely gets rid of, gets by on this, and it's going to be version 1 rare recruit Marco. And he's the only character to note in the entire game that does not have any recovery-based abilities or healing-based abilities that are based on how much healing you want to give. Percentage healing-based abilities do not work, so your Raid Bartolomeo will not work. Fixed healing will not work for characters that heal a set amount of HP. That will not work as well. There is a ton of things that are a problem with this. Of course, recovery for auto healing does not work either. So there is a ton of ways for you to just not be able to heal. It is a very, very annoying thing to not be able to heal your entire time. But it's not technically a new mechanic. We've had mechanics throughout the entire game where there was characters that removed certain types of buffs. So, for example, the only character in the entire game that removes the anti-heal buff is the version 1 Rare Recruit Kobe. And that was the first anti-healing buff that was ever placed in the game. So it's not so much a new mechanic. It's just a rework on the old mechanic where the version 1 Rare Recruit Kobe cannot really help you here. So I don't really like the mechanic per se. It's not really my cup of tea. And there are a lot of negatives to it. And we could go over those in detail. But to be honest, the content is just difficult even without this buff. Without this buff, I think this is still the hardest content in the game. This buff just basically makes it so much worse. So going into the next room over here, what we're going to be getting is we're going to get these spare ladies as well as some sea lions. And these sea lions will bind a random unit in your team for 6 turns, and the spare ladies in front are going to disbind both your captains for 10 turns. So one of the reasons we're bringing version 1 Sanji here is we're actually saying, you know what, screw this buff, I don't want to deal with it, I'm going to pop version 1 Sanji. So what we're going to do is go ahead and jump on both of our Sanjis so we don't even have to deal with the Despair Ladies, who can be on a 1, 2, or 3 turn cooldown, which is also kind of annoying. And we're just going to get around it so we don't have to deal with it at all. So even if we get the worst turns in the world, we're totally fine. So going into the bind, bam, our characters get bound, boom, we're done. And now we're going to go ahead and get despaired. It does nothing because we have a jump on our characters. And we're going to go ahead and kill the sea lion over here. And then we're going to kill the Despair Lady here. Now, my last thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to attack one more time on the seahorse over here. And then we're going to go ahead and jump. The seahorse is just going to attack on the second time around, so you don't have to worry about that at all. And then we're going to go ahead and jump on our Sanji here and the other Sanji here. Very important that you jump before you get in the next room, because the next room is going to be an RNG stage. It's going to be one of 2 different stages. The first stage of here, we're going to see it, we're going to have Bava Royce. And Bava Royce is going to swap one of your characters with a random crew member for the captain, and then rewind the top row by 100 turns. I'll just say it's 100 turns. I have actually no idea how many turns because it's an insane amount of turns. So that's super annoying. Because that happens, you don't really have a really fair chance of winning this. So what we're going to end up doing, of course, we're going to pop our Sanji special, which is going to be everything super low on the stage. We are then going to, of course, pop our Nami special, which is then going to give us a color affinity boost. And if you are concerned about your damage here, you can also pop the Beiju special. She's really here as a just-in-case thing, where you can, this is in any character spot. This is the replacement spot. You don't actually need this character. This is mainly to just help you with the extra damage. Honestly, this is for attack down removal and not much else. I used Garp last time I did this run, so it's perfectly fine to use either. Okay, so for right here, we're going to go ahead, and since our Sanjis are jumped here, I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to use these 2 here. So we're going to go ahead and attack on this one here. Then we're going to hit with V2 Kata, and then we're going to go over to the version 2 Doflamingo, and then finally hit on our Sanji, who's going to do 6 million damage. The main damage here is going to be from the Sanji, so just know that that's your main focus on damage. It's going to do most of the damage you need. Right when you enter the room, Big Mom is going to give you a 99 turn burn buff, and that 99 turn burn buff is going to get hit for 5,000 every perfect that you do hit, and also a 99 turn chip silence. She's going to be on 2 turns, and she is going to have a death mechanic below 20%, so just know that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use version 2 Doflamingo to kill the boss, so you don't actually have to worry about anything. As you can see, we did way more than enough damage needed. If we do have the other stage, we'll be able to do a little bit less damage, but we'll be able to last hit with Doflamingo or use our, what's her name? Beiju special in order to get a little bit more damage, just to make sure. On revive, Big Mom is going to be super annoying. She's going to also give you a 99 turn orb seal on all of your units, which is a super annoying debuff. There's a couple ways I've been figuring out to get around that, but right now I'm using version 2 Katakuri in order to give some tap timing damage, and then we're just going to tap on all the units. Now if you do want to, you can get a little chain boost from Sanji just for that little extra damage, and that's basically all she wrote. But that's basically how I'm beating this stage right here, is I'm just using Katakuri as well as Sanji to clear it, and it is a lot easier with version 2 Katakuri with a sub. on this fight. But otherwise, the fight is very, very difficult. If you can't beat it, don't feel bad. It is the most difficult content in the entire game. Version 1 Sanji kind of trivializes it with the jump. And the other characters I've used, of course, are version 2 Gear 4, so that I can actually use a 4x Captain ability, because any dual unit that you may use is not able to be used because you have that special rewind mechanic on the top row. So guys, Luffy Ace, again, I know a lot of you are going to think of that. It's probably not going to work too well because you can't pop the special, and you're going to be stuck with a 3.5x Captain on Ace version, and it's going to be the strength version. If you're going to be using the quick version for Luffy, that's going to be a 3x Captain, so a lot less damage. Alright guys, my name is Sekapoko. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I'm so sorry that I was only with one team today. I actually have another team that involved D2 Katakuri in version 2 Gear 4. It's going to be version 2 Gear 4 double captain with Katakuri subs. So I was like, well, I already did one of those, so I'll just pass on that. But the other, if you wanted to know, it's Mihawk, Intok, as well as version 2 Rayleigh, and finally, last unit is Warco, just for getting the meat orbs and the HP cut. Again, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, of course, like and subscribe, all the fun stuff, and you guys have a great rest of your day.